Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining me on my channel, our channel, and joining me out in nature. So I'm going to talk a little about meditation. In fact, meditation, what's that all about? I remember when I first really started to inquire and practice yoga, that postures, or even though I wasn't that flexible, but they're fairly tangible. You can recognise the shape, you can make the shape. But when it comes to meditation, I always thought there was something mystical, something almost unattainable. I had this idea that maybe you needed to shave your head and sit in a cave in the Himalayas for 50 years to have a glimpse, to attain this, whatever it is, from meditation. Well, I feel my purpose, or one of my purposes with what I share, is in a way to demystify a little these spiritual practices. These days I don't really tend to use the term meditation because to me it implies that it's somewhere that you're trying to get to, maybe, or it's some experience that is unfamiliar to you, when the reality is that essence from the practice we've experienced many times, not just through our days but through our lives. And it's not exclusive to yoga and to meditation. This is a state, this is your true self, your true nature. So I know there's hundreds, thousands probably of books written on meditation. And I remember myself again looking at the cover, usually something, a sunrise or rocks piled on top of each other. And I know these days, I don't have a smartphone, but you can have these applications on your phone to remind you to meditate, which is great, it's all well and good. But for me, that as well, it can sometimes muddy the waters a little. The idea of meditation is great, but when you actually get there to sit, most of the time, and for most of us, you're just sitting there for however long with your eyes closed thinking. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's really what I'm wanting to share with you with this practice, with this message. When we come to sit, and you can call it meditation, you can call it self-inquiry, we're really just witnessing the different aspects of ourselves. You're not looking to actually change anything. You're not searching for anything. You're not grasping for anything that isn't already there. It always has been. It always will be. So, as you come to sit and you close your eyes, maybe there's a moment or two of relative stillness to begin with, and then thoughts happen. And again, it's a natural process. Our thoughts are another aspect of ourselves. But consider this. Your thoughts are uninvited. We have absolutely no control over the nature of our thoughts. And so, in the time that you give yourself to self-inquiry, to sit, to meditate, to give it that name, really, part of the process is to recognise that these thoughts are uninvited guests. And we have absolutely no control over the nature of our thoughts. We might think we do, but we have absolutely no control over the nature of our thoughts. They arise into the stillness, into the sanctity of our mind space. Without our involvement, thoughts soon dissolving back and into that stillness. Now, where we have absolutely no control over the nature of our thoughts, from my experience with a little bit of practice, and that's when we sit, that's when we contemplate. So we have no control over the nature of our thoughts, but to some degree, and sometimes, we can be aware of our reaction to a thought or our reaction to a feeling, to an emotion. And that is where the magic lies. So in that split second after the thought has arisen, we can witness that thought. And if we're simply sitting, we witness, we acknowledge, and then we let go. And for me, in essence, that's the practice, if you like to call it a name, of meditation, is that of witnessing, accepting, acknowledging, and then letting go. But it's not a practice exclusively limited to when you sit on your mat or you sit in a chair. So meditation becomes a state of being in a way. So as you move off your mat, as you move through your morning, through your day, again to some degree, it should be effortless. There's a witnessing of your surroundings. I look around me right now, I see bits of blue sky, I see the darker clouds, and I can witness. I can be aware of my mind's reaction. Now, if those thoughts aren't necessarily serving me as I move through my day, the more familiar I become with these patterns of thoughts, the more, in a way, and sometimes, you disempower those thoughts. So, we're just going to have a very short practice, going to sit in just for a minute or so, to explore that inquiry. So before we sit, I'll sound my tingsures to sound the beginning. As we sit, remember you're not looking for anything to happen, you're not waiting for anything to change. There's no mystical experience that you're waiting to experience. You're just simply being with yourself in the experience of yourself, and maybe if thoughts arise, you can be aware of your reaction to those thoughts. So just finding your seat, head, neck and spine balanced, either your eyes closed or your gaze lowered. And we can use our breath as a point of reference, a very delicate point of focus. So bringing your attention, your awareness, to rest with your breath. To rest with your breath doesn't necessarily mean to think about your breath. And then when you find your mind drifting, or you find yourself distracted by your thoughts, as gently, as lovingly as you can, you return your awareness back to the ebb, back to the flow of your natural breath. If your eyes are closed, still keeping your eyes closed, bring the palms of your hands to rest together in front of your chest. Rub the palms of your hands together to create warmth. And then resting the palms of your hands over your closed eyes, opening your eyes into the warmth from your hands. Drawing your hands slowly down your face so the daylight filters through your fingers. Well, thank you for allowing me to share my thoughts, my words, my practice. Let me know what you think. Does it work for you? Do you disagree? It's a two-way process. So please feel free to leave any comments, subscribe. I'll be putting up many more of these talks and these videos, and share as much as you want to. So, well, thank you.